Major David Reeves barely glanced at the soldier cleaning the AC-130 fire control panel in the corner of the Fort Bragg Armory. Just another routine maintenance task. Ordinary. But when he noticed the badge on her uniform and read the numbers, he froze. 147 missions, 147 targets, 0 misses. Major turned to the soldier, doubt in his voice. "Soldier, that's impossible. No one has a perfect fire record. Everyone misses." The soldier in the corner continued cleaning the AC-130 gunship's fire control panel. Without looking up, in a calm voice, "Sir, every shot is on record. All documentation is classified, but every mission was confirmed by command. I can provide my service record if you'd like." Reeves studied the woman speaking. She appeared to be in her late 20s, short black hair, calm expression. Most of her uniform badges were from special units he didn't recognize. And that impossible statistic. "What's your name, soldier?" "Staff Sergeant Alexis Rivera, sir. Fire Control Officer, AC-130J, Ghost Rider Crew." Major Reeves had seen a lot in his 15-year military career. Elite pilots, snipers, special forces operators, but he'd never encountered anyone claiming 147 missions with 0 misses. "Rivera, come with me. I need to hear this story." Alexis Rivera performed the same ritual every day at the Fort Bragg Armory. Clean, test, and calibrate the AC-130 gunship fire control system simulation equipment. The process took 2 to 3 hours, but Alexis considered it time well spent. The AC-130J Ghost Rider wasn't just an aircraft. It was a flying fortress, mounted on its left side, 30mm GAU-23 cannon, 105mm howitzer, AGM-176 Griffin precision missiles. And all these weapons were controlled by the world's most advanced sensor and targeting systems. Alexis's job, Fire Control Officer, FCO. She decided who would fire the weapons, when they would fire, which target to engage. She controlled everything. And for 5 years, she had never missed. In Major Reeves's office, Alexis's service record opened on the screen. His assistant, Colonel Harrison, began reading the records. "Sir, Staff Sergeant Rivera graduated from Air Force Fire Control School with the highest scores in her class. Expert in advanced ballistic computation, long-range precision fire, danger close fire procedures, mission assignments, 75th Ranger Regiment support, Delta Force operations, and missions with classified organizations that don't appear in the database." Reeves looked at Harrison. "What do you mean, classified organizations?" "Sir, frankly, accessing Staff Sergeant Rivera's complete file requires special authorization. What we can see here is just basic information." Reeves turned to Alexis. "Rivera, explain this 147 missions, 0 misses claim. Is firing from an AC-130 easy? Why isn't everyone like you?" Alexis sat properly in her chair, hands clasped on her knees. Her answer was calm but confident. "Sir, AC-130 fire control isn't easy. When you fire from a 30mm cannon, each round travels at 1,000 meters per second. If the target is 3 kilometers away, flight time is 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, wind can deflect the round's trajectory by 2 meters. Temperature, humidity, air density all factor into the calculations. But don't computers calculate these things?" "They do, sir. But computers aren't always right. Wind changes, targets move, aircraft vibrate. I manually verify the computer's calculations. If there's a discrepancy, I correct it. Most FCOs trust the computer. I don't." Reeves wanted more details. "So how did those 147 missions happen? How many targets per mission?" Alexis thought for a moment. Then, "Sir, average mission means 15 to 20 targets. Some missions had 5 targets, some had 60. Total, I've engaged 327 targets. I didn't miss any of them. 327 targets, 0 misses. Rivera, that's statistically impossible. Everyone makes mistakes." Sir, I can't make mistakes because with every shot I take, there are friendly soldiers 47 meters beyond the target. If I miss, I kill them. That's why I don't miss. The room fell silent. Harrison was looking at the screen. Sir, according to records, 80% of Staff Sergeant Rivera's missions are in the danger close category, meaning friendlies and enemies closer than 100 meters. Reeves was confused. Danger close fire was considered a last resort in military doctrine because the risk was too high. But Alexis had done 80% of her missions this way without ever missing. Rivera, I'm going to ask you a question and I want an honest answer. How are you this good? Alexis's expression didn't change. Sir, 5 years ago, on my first mission, I made a mistake. The wind changed. I didn't adjust. A 30-millimeter round landed 10 meters from a friendly position. Shrapnel wounded 2 soldiers. They survived, but it was my fault. Since that day, I swore, never again. Before every shot, I triple-check. I calculate every variable. I turn fire control into pure mathematics because math doesn't lie. Math doesn't make mistakes. I do, but only if I ignore the math. Reeves saw something in Alexis's eyes. Obsession, perhaps, but also discipline. 3 days later, at Fort Bragg's extended range facility, Major Reeves and his team gathered to observe the AC-130J Ghost Rider demonstration flight. Alexis had been preparing since 6 a.m. She'd set up the fire control station in the aircraft, calibrated all sensors, tested weapon systems. The pilot, Major Tom Bradley, was an experienced 20-year veteran who'd been flying with Alexis for 4 years. Alexis, the general's here to watch. Let's make this demonstration count, Bradley said over the intercom. Alexis sat in front of her 3 screens. Left screen, wide area thermal imaging. Center screen, high definition optical zoom. Right screen, weapon system status. Tom, did I explain the mission? 1,200 meters distance, 10 targets. Each one a different difficulty level. Some stationary, some moving, some danger close. Got it. You just shoot. I'll keep the aircraft stable. Below, Major Reeves watched through binoculars. The range safety officer explained the targets. Sir, 10 targets have been positioned. 1 to 5 are stationary targets, 1,200 meters distance. 6 to 8 are moving targets, mounted on vehicles moving at 30 kilometers per hour. 9 to 10 are danger close targets. We've placed friendly soldier mannequins 50 meters from the target. Reeves nodded. Rivera's going to hit all of these. Sir, Staff Sergeant Rivera accepted the mission. She says all will be eliminated in under 5 minutes. The AC-130 began orbiting over the range. Alexis worked in coordination with sensor operator David Park. David, target 1, stationary, 1,200 meters, wind from northwest at 5 knots. Target marked, 30 millimeters ready. Alexis checked the ballistic computer solution. Wind drift, 0.3 meters. Gravity drop, 1.2 meters. She made corrections. 30 millimeters, firing. Brrt. 10-round burst, 3 seconds. Range safety officer, target 1, center mass hit. Reeves was surprised. That fast? Sir, Staff Sergeant Rivera had already calculated. She just pulled the trigger. Targets 2, 3, 4, 5. Alexis engaged in sequence. Each one center mass. Speed, average 25 seconds per target. Target 6 to 8, moving. Vehicles were moving at 30 kilometers per hour. Alexis calculated lead, fired ahead of them. 30 millimeters, engaging moving target. Brrrty. The vehicle drove directly into the exploding rounds. Stopped. 3 moving targets eliminated in 90 seconds. Targets 9 to 10. Danger close. Now the hard part. Friendly soldier mannequins were 50 meters from the targets. Alexis locked onto her screens. Wind was remeasured. Ballistic solution manually verified. Tom, is the aircraft stable? Stable as crystal, Alexis. Fire. 30 millimeters. Danger close engagement. Brrrt. Target 9 exploded. The mannequins 50 meters away, no damage. Target 10, same result, perfect precision. The range safety officer spoke into the microphone. All 10 targets engaged. Total time, 4 minutes, 37 seconds. 0 collateral damage on danger close targets. Reeves lowered his binoculars. He couldn't believe it. That woman hit 10 targets in 4 minutes. Some were moving, some were danger close, and she didn't miss any of them. Colonel Harrison. Sir, do you believe it now? I believe it, but I still don't understand. How is she this good? Major Reeves spent the following week navigating bureaucracy to access Alexis's complete file. Finally, special authorization came through. Alexis Rivera's complete military record read like a collection of legends. First mission 5 years ago, Afghanistan. 9 Green Berets under Taliban siege. Alexis's AC-130 eliminated 60 targets in 18 minutes. 9 soldiers rescued. But in the same mission, Alexis's mistake wounded 2 soldiers. The report stated, FCO Rivera failed to account for wind shift. 30 millimeters round landed 10 meters from friendly position. 2 wounded. Rivera requested post-mission psychological evaluation and swore never to make another mistake. From that day forward, 0 mistakes. Second mission, Pakistan border, Special Forces team surrounded by 80-plus militants. Alexis's AC-130 arrived, eliminated 60 targets in 14 minutes. Closest friendly soldier was 47 meters from targets. Report, FCO Rivera's precision was extraordinary. Danger close fire perfect. 0 friendly casualties. Third mission, Iraq, Mosul, hostage rescue. Hostages and terrorists in the same building, 30 meters apart. Conventional airstrike impossible. Civilian casualty risk too high. Alexis's solution, 6 Griffin precision missiles, 6 different rooms. Without touching the hostage room, all terrorists eliminated. SEAL team entered, 8 hostages rescued safely. As Reeves read the reports, he understood why Alexis had impossible statistics. Every mission was a problem no one else could solve, and Alexis had provided the perfect solution every time. But one report particularly caught his attention. Mission number 89, Yemen. HVT, high-value target. ISIS cell leader. The target was hiding in a compound in a dense urban center surrounded by civilian buildings. 200-plus civilians in surrounding buildings. Standard airstrike, impossible. Collateral damage, unacceptable. Alexis's solution, single 105mm howitzer round, exact center of the building. Blast contained inward, no damage to surrounding buildings. Report, FCO Rivera engaged target from 4,200 meters with single shot. Detected 0.4 meter discrepancy in calculations. Computer hadn't fully accounted for humidity effect. Made manual correction. Round impacted exact center of building. HVT killed. Surrounding buildings, only broken windows. 0 civilian casualties. Reeves lifted his head from the screen. Reading this report, the person seemed like a machine, not a human. But Alexis Rivera was human, just obsessively perfectionist. Colonel Harrison entered the office. Sir, General Patricia Stone called. She wants to discuss Alexis Rivera. General Patricia Stone's classified briefing explained Alexis's true role to Reeves. Major Reeves, what you've stumbled onto is one of our most valuable strategic assets. Staff Sergeant Rivera represents capabilities we don't advertise, because when properly employed, they provide significant tactical advantages. Sir, why isn't this soldier being utilized at higher levels? Her capabilities seem to exceed anything we're currently employing in standard operations. She is being utilized appropriately. Rivera's assignments are coordinated at levels you don't normally access because her missions serve strategic rather than tactical purposes. Reeves was beginning to understand. Sir, What kind of missions require 3,200-meter shooting capabilities? The kind of missions where failure isn't an option and conventional approaches won't work. Rivera provides capabilities that can resolve situations that would otherwise require much larger commitments of personnel and resources. General Stone gave Reeves an example. Mission number 134, Syria, Chemical Weapons Depot. ISIS-controlled, standard bombardment. Impossible. Chemical weapons would disperse into the air. Thousands of civilians would die. Ground assault. Too dangerous, high casualty risk. Alexis's solution, precision fire from AC-130. Specific points on the depot. She knew where the chemical weapon containers were located. 6 Griffin missiles. Each missile destroyed the containers but didn't disperse them into the air. Instead, the containers collapsed in place. Chemical agents leaked inward and were neutralized. Report, FCO. Rivera's precision fire neutralized the chemical weapons depot. 0 civilian casualties, 0 chemical dispersal. This result could not have been achieved through conventional methods. Reeves now understood Alexis wasn't just a good shooter. She was a solution generator, the answer to impossible problems. General Stone continued, Major, what makes Rivera exceptional isn't just her technical skill. It's her ability to see problems that others miss and design solutions that others wouldn't even attempt. In mission number 67, for example, she was tasked with eliminating a terrorist cell meeting in a crowded marketplace. Standard doctrine would say it's impossible. Too many civilians, too much chaos. But Rivera studied the marketplace for 3 days, identified the exact moment when the terrorists would be isolated in a specific alley for 8 seconds during a daily vendor rotation. She positioned the AC-130, calculated the precise angle needed to fire down the alley without hitting the market stalls on either side, and eliminated all 5 targets in those 8 seconds. 0 civilian casualties. That's not just marksmanship. That's strategic thinking combined with perfect execution. Reeves was absorbing this information when Harrison entered with an urgent message. Sir, we just received a mission brief. Requires immediate AC-130 deployment with specialized fire control capabilities. They're specifically requesting Staff Sergeant Rivera. General Stone nodded. That's the nature of her assignments, Major. When conventional forces can't solve a problem, Rivera gets the call. The mission brief was classified, but Reeves was authorized to know the basics. American intelligence assets trapped in a compound, surrounded by hostile forces, conventional rescue impossible due to the compound's location in a densely populated area. Any mistake would result in mass civilian casualties and an international incident. Alexis studied the mission parameters in the briefing room. The compound was surrounded by apartment buildings on 3 sides, a school on the 4th. Hostile forces had positioned themselves specifically to use civilians as shields, knowing it would prevent American military action. Sir, Alexis addressed General Stone. Standard AC-130 engagement would cause unacceptable collateral damage. But if I can get eyes on the compound for 6 hours before the rescue team arrives, I can map the hostile positions and identify precision strike points that will create an extraction corridor without endangering civilians. You have 4 hours, Rivera. That's all the time we can give you before the hostiles move the assets to a location we can't reach. Then I'll work faster, sir. 4 hours later, the AC-130 was on station. Alexis had spent every minute of those 4 hours studying the compound through her sensors, mapping every hostile position, calculating firing solutions for each one, and identifying the precise sequence of engagements that would create a safe corridor for the rescue team. Major Bradley, the pilot, watched Alexis work with the same focused intensity he'd seen for 4 years. Alexis, this is the tightest situation I've seen. You sure about this? Tom, I'm never sure. But the math is correct, and the math doesn't lie. The rescue team reported they were inbound. Alexis had exactly 8 minutes to eliminate 15 hostile positions without touching any civilian structures. What happened next was recorded in classified mission archives as one of the most precise fire control sequences in AC-130 history. Alexis engaged 15 targets in 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Each engagement was calculated to within centimeters, each round placed with such precision that the rescue team reported they could hear the AC-130's guns, but never felt at risk from the fire. The mission report was brief. Staff Sergeant Rivera exceeded expected standards. 15 targets, 7 minutes 43 seconds, 0 collateral damage. Mission successful. All personnel extracted safely. Mission number 148. Still 0 misses. 6 months later, Major Reeves was promoted to colonel and assigned to a position that gave him oversight of specialized operations. One of his first actions was to ensure that soldiers like Alexis Rivera, the quiet professionals who achieved extraordinary results without seeking recognition, received the support and resources they needed to continue their missions. He implemented a new program to identify and develop fire control officers with exceptional capabilities, using Alexis's methods as the foundation for advanced training protocols. The program's motto, suggested by Alexis herself, was simple: "The math doesn't lie." Today, Alexis Rivera continues to serve with AC-130 crews. She still spends hours each day maintaining equipment, testing systems, and preparing for the next mission. Most people who see her don't recognize her as anything special, just another soldier doing routine work in the corner of the armory. But those who know understand. Extraordinary capability often works quietly, without drawing attention, without making displays. Colonel Reeves learned this lesson well. In his new position, he makes it a point to walk through armories, talk to soldiers performing routine maintenance, and look closely at the badges they wear, because sometimes those badges tell stories of achievements that challenge our understanding of what human beings can accomplish. Alexis Rivera didn't just make impossible shots. She proved that some soldiers possess capabilities at the very edge of human achievement, ready to be deployed when conventional solutions aren't sufficient. The soldier cleaning equipment in the corner of the armory, the badge that reads 147 missions, 0 misses, the quiet professional who turns mathematics into miracles. That's Alexis Rivera. That's what excellence looks like when it operates in the shadows, maintaining standards that most people don't even know exist. And that's why Major, now Colonel David Reeves, always stops to read the badges, because you never know when you're standing next to someone who's redefining what's possible.